Shalom and good day all, this is Tehillim29 back again for a DC versus Marvel mech battle. And as you can see here, today we have the Marvel Mech Strike Monster Hunters issue 4. And I think this series finishes off at either issue 5 or 6. So when this finishes off, I might see if I can find something Marvel-wise to sort of like replace whatever comes up in relation to the DC Mech. So we'll see what happens there. And of course we've got DC Mech issue 3 of 6. I'll now get things set up to cover the first one that will be reviewed. So the first one I'll be reviewing will be Mech Strike Monster Hunters. And first things first, does this cover in any way, shape or form connect to something that's happening inside with the story? Sure enough it does, to which I give it a 7 out of 10. I'll now move into showing some art along with some of the things that are happening story-wise around the beginning, middle and of course the end, and then I'll give the art rating. So as this story begins, it takes place in Darmstadt, Latvia. And of course, we've got quite a bit of action happening here. Of course, we've got Thanos. We've got a number of other demon-type characters. We've got the Green Goblin. And quite a number of characters here in the beginning of the story. I'll now move towards the middle. So as the fight continues, we get a bit of a fight between Green Goblin and one other character. Almost reminds me of Venom a little bit, but I don't think it is. Oh, it is. Of course, we've got Groot here, I think, and a couple of others. And Loki, can't forget Loki there. And last but not least, moving towards the end. And as we finally move towards the end, we finally catch up with Groot, Ghost Spider, who's finally taken out Thanos. We've got Iron Man, plus a couple of others. And last but not least, Doctor Doom prepares to either leave or fight the next character. So for the internal art, I gave this a 6.5 out of 10. Now it's time to move into the story rating. First things first, did we get any comic references to any of the previous runs that are connected to the Mech Strike? No, we didn't. The next area that will be covered is the area of time. So what did we get in relation time-wise? The closest thing that we got time-wise related was something indicating moments later. The location to which this took place was in Latvia. The cast of characters consisting of Wasp, Ghost Spider, Hulk, Groot, Doctor Strange, Iron Man, Thanos, Green Goblin, Doctor Doom, of course, Loki, and one other character. Oh, Rocket, we also had as well. For the overall story rating, I gave this a 7 out of 10. With the art, it did feel a little bit rushed in some places, but apart from that, it's time to move on to DC vs. Mech. So finally moving into DC Mech, and first things first, do these covers in any way, shape or form connect to something that's happening inside with the story? Sure enough they do. The one on the left hand side gets a 7.5 out of 10. The one on the right hand side also gets a 7 out of 10. I'll use the variant cover here to show the internal art as well as some of the things that are happening story wise as we look around the beginning, middle and of course the end. So as the story begins, we've got Kal-El and Batman and others working together. We've also got Wonder Woman here. as it feels almost a little bit like a training scenario. As we jump towards the middle, we've got the Superman going to space with a couple of the others. And the first little bit played off in the Atlantic Ocean at Black Hawk Island. And things are starting to move towards the Watchtower. As we start to move towards the end of the story, we get a bit of an event that happens. We have Darkseid, and of course, he targets Kal-El, to which Kal-El ends up in the Kent's backyard. So, for the internal art, I gave it a 7 out of 10. Now it's time to move in relation to the story. So first things first, did we get any indication of when some of these things were taking place time-wise? No, we didn't. Because this is in a bit of a slow run right now, there's really no need for comic references. So moving into the next thing, is location. So some of the locations we visited in the story were the Atlantic Ocean at Black Hawk Island. We ended up going to the Granny Goodness ship, which was out of space and was also doing some things and preparing some people to target Earth. The cast of characters consisting of Olaf, Black Hawk, we had Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash, the Green Lanterns, of course, Darkseid, Granny Goodness. Surprisingly, we also saw Starfire in here, as well as Lex Luthor and Ma and Pa Kent at the end. Overall, I gave this story rating a 7.5 out of 10. Until then, let's keep it colourful and have yourself an awesome day.